Well, howdy, 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 howdy. Welcome on in. Welcome to Aware and Convinced. And this is all about getting sober, staying sober, right? Get myself in order here. All right. Hope that music isn't too loud. Let's see. Turn that down a little. Just a little bit. Now let's arrange this. Awesome, right? Awesome. Awesome. Okay, my name's Glenn, and I'm sober tonight. How many people are sober tonight? Monday night. It is Monday night, right? Monday night. How many people are sober? Or are you going to go out and party later? No. Don't do that. Well, you can do that. Just don't drink. Right? Don't drink, don't do drugs. Stay sober. Okay, so let's see, where are we here? Make sure everything is operating properly. Looks like it is. Okay. So how are you tonight? Or this afternoon, this late afternoon? I guess well, it's 7:05 Eastern. So it is night. I love it. I love it this time of year where the clocks are ahead an hour. More daylight. I love it. All right. Let's see. So what are we doing here tonight? Let's make sure everything's working. Number one. Okay. And I think my microphone's working good. Yep. Very good. Very good. That's all good. Why, we're in good shape. How about that? So what are we doing here? Well, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to stay sober together, right? Absolutely. And again, my name is Glenn. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and I was in my addiction for a long time, 40 plus years. And I know I don't look that old, but got a turkey neck. So the years are creeping up on me quickly. So I'm a recovered alcoholic. I drank for 40 plus years. And by the grace of God, I've been sober now for over 5,000 days. Coming up on 15 years. And I am a late bloomer. A late bloomer. That's what they call them. It took me a long time to get here, but I finally did. I finally made it. And this channel is not about shame or blame. It's about honesty, accountability, and the raw reality of addiction. Because it's out there. It doesn't matter what addiction you have. You're welcome to the channel, whether it's alcohol, drugs, food, sex, porn, whatever. You're welcome to the channel because they're all addictions. And we're going to try to help you out along the way and help me out along the way, because you can't keep it if you don't give it away. That's what they say. So we're going to try our best here. Where's my water? I need a little swig of my water here. All right. So 5,000 days, over 5,000 days sober. How did I do it? How does any good addict stay sober? One day at a time. One day at a time. And sometimes 1 hour at a time, right? Just depends. Depends on you. And a little time, with a little time, a little help, and commitment, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you think you have a problem, hey, we'll get into that in just a minute. That's step 0. That's good. If you think you might have a little problem, that's good. You're on your way to solving it, dealing with it, treating it. So, starting a live stream, yeah, it's a challenge. But believe me, from what I've seen out there, I say, why not? Why not? Why not? So I did want to talk about addiction and recovery because I've been there and on both sides. And it ain't getting any better out there either. That's for sure. Maybe there's a few less boats making their way into the States thanks to Trump, but it is not getting any better. It's still out there. They have their ways, I guess. So again, it doesn't matter what your addiction is, alcohol, drugs, food, whatever. You're welcome. Come on in. Drop me a comment, chat. Love to hear from you. And let's see. Yep. Looks like that's okay. And let's go back here. Okay. So as this progresses here, consider this your safe place, your safe space. And again, it doesn't matter what your addiction happens to be. This is your refuge, your home away from home, and you're welcome. And I'll be sharing with you my story and some other various stories. Hopefully we'll have a guest on here sooner or later. We'll see what happens with this channel and with the stream. And I do have a few other videos on my channel that are instructive, not destructive. They're instructive, so you can check those out. Aware and Convinced. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my story eventually on how I recovered from 40 plus years of drinking and partying too hard, and how I stay quit, and how my higher power, whom I choose to call God, finally made it happen for me. And yeah, I do believe in miracles because I am one. And I am one. If you'd known me in the past, you'd say, oh man, this guy's got a real problem. And I did. I did. And miracles happen. And that's why I'm here. So there you go. You know, if you're new to recovery, don't let the God thing take you out, because believe me, it's important. Believe. If you continue down the road that you're on right now, if you are using and abusing, and that's the nature of addiction, your drug of choice will take you out eventually. Doesn't matter what it is, it's going to take you out one way or another. And so the name of the channel is Aware and Convinced, and it seems like a fitting name considering that you should be aware and you should be convinced that there is a way out. There is a way out. To get sober and stay sober, I believe you got to be both aware and convinced. And you have to stay that way for the rest of your life if you want to stay sober. You got to be aware of your problem and convinced that a change, complete change, has to happen. And it will happen with help from your higher power and God. But you've got to start yourself and make a decision that you're aware that you do have a problem. That's the biggest step right there. That is step 0. All right, and we'll get into that in just a couple of minutes to talk about it a little bit. You can get sober. You can stay sober the rest of your life. It's easy. It's really simple. It really is. Don't use, don't drink. There you go. It's happened to millions of other people along the way, and it can happen to you, but you got to want it more than anything else in the world. Your desire for recovery should come first, before anything, before the wife or the significant other, your partner, come before the kids, before the job, before anything. And it should come especially before your addiction. And if that desire doesn't come first, then there's a good chance that you won't get it. It just won't happen for you. And I know that from experience. And I'll tell you that story too, coming up here in just a little bit. So, good chance that you might relapse along the way. That happens. Happened to me. No, you might be lucky. May not happen to you. You may not ever relapse. You may decide to quit and stay quit, and that's the end of it. God bless you. Lucky you. Okay? Because I relapsed. Yeah, every time I picked up, I relapsed. And there were a lot of relapses along the way. I could get sober and stay sober for a week or 2 or 3, sometimes a month, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 months, and then bang, right back at it again. And then I'd do it again. Get sober for a month, a week, a month, let's put it in order. Couple of months, and then relapse again. And I was going to AA at the time, trying to get it. Every time I went, I learned something. Every time I went, a little bit stuck each time, just a little bit. And I ended up with a drawer full of white chips. Now, if you're familiar at all with AA, different clubs have different different processes that they go through every time you want to get sober. Different colored chips for different lengths of time. Particular AA club that I was going to was a white chip. It was for your first meeting and your first desire to stay sober. You hang on to that white chip. And I had a drawer full of them. Because of all the relapsing I did. But I stuck with it, and every time I went to AA, a little bit more stuck up there. And I am a hard-headed guy. And it took a while. But it finally did stick. Like I said, coming up on 15 years. So grateful for that, believe me. That's a little bit about relapsing on my end, my story. Okay, so as I said, I've been sober for about 5,000 days. Well, a little over 5,000 days, actually. So, and it's all been done one day at a time. I remember going to AA meetings and listening to people speak, and they'd say, "Oh, I got 15 or 10, or I got 5 years, or 10, or 20, or 25, or even 35 or 40 years." Man, oh man, all I could do is think about, how did these people do it? How did they do it? Well, I know now how they did it. They did it one day at a time, and it just happens. One day at a time. One day turns into the next, turns into the next, turns into the next, and the next, and the next. So, as end result, stack those all up along the way. And every day that goes by, you get a little more sober, a little further away from your addiction. And that is the name of the game. Get that away, stay away, stay away, right? And that's a miracle, like I said earlier. It's a miracle. I'm here to tell you. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And I'm not here to lecture. You can forget about that. I'm not here to get into the biological, biopsychological stuff. Let's see, I have the definition of addiction from Wikipedia. All right. Here it is. Here it comes. Are you ready? Biopsychological situation whereby an individual's functionality is dependent on the necessitated reconsumption of a psychoactive substance. Thank you, Wikipedia. No, we're not going to get into that at all. We're going to talk. Just going to talk. No fluff, no baloney, no BS. Just honest talk about the highs, lows, and everything in between, being sober, getting sober, and celebrating your sobriety. I had a moment that changed everything for me about sharing my experience on a live stream on YouTube. And that moment was coming up on 2 years now. 2 years as of this broadcast, as of this stream. You can tell I'm old school broadcast, right? As of this stream, about 2 years ago, almost 2 years, it'll be 2 years in April, an event happened in my life that rocked me and just totally messed me up, broke my heart, broke my life. And that event is the biggest reason that I started the live channel. Alcohol was my thing, of course, and but when this event happened, I didn't drink, I didn't use. Again, I'm a miracle, a living miracle. I stayed sober, and I'll tell you what the event was in just a minute. As I said earlier, alcohol was my thing, and but it could have been any drug. I'm that type of a personality. It could have been any drug. It happened to be alcohol, and I've been retired now for about 2 years. And as it turns out, I'm not the retirement type. You know, I'm too young to retire. And if you believe that, I got some land here in Florida just for you. I'm not the retirement type. Came from a radio and a broadcasting background, and 20 years in that business and 20 years in the music business at the same time. Entertainment, basically. And when you've heard stories, you're in the entertainment business, it's wide open. And a lot of bad things happen. And yeah, I fell right into it. It was great. Party every night, almost every night. I don't know. I may have had one night off a week from partying, but pretty much 24/7. Um, and neither one of those careers worked out. And I bet you can't guess why. Yeah, because there was too much going on, too much partying, too much garbage going on. So I gave this live channel a lot of thought. And here's how I look at it. If we can get one person, two, maybe, 5 would be great. 10 would be super. 100 would be falling down, fantastic. But if we can get a few people to just to quit whatever they're doing and consider sobriety as part of their future, then we'll be doing the right thing here at this live stream. So that's pretty much why I put this thing together here. I feel like I got to save a life. Could be yours, but got to save a life because there's too many people dying out there from addiction, drug addiction, and alcohol. Alcohol is a drug, so drug addiction. Okay, alcoholism and drug addiction. Let's do it that way. If one other person can get sober and stay sober, then that's a miracle also. It really is. Okay, let me keep it real here with you. So just because you get clean and sober does not mean life is perfect. That's number one. And being sober isn't perfection. It's progress. Progress in your life, maybe that you never considered before. It's not all sunshine and unicorns and rainbows. Sometimes there are storms, big storms, hurricane type, tornado type storms that come through your life. And life gets really hard when that happens. But through it all, by the grace of God, I might add, you don't have to drink, you don't have to use. You don't have to. I know when my trials came, not the law trials, that's another story. But I know when my life trials came that I didn't have to pick up, I didn't have to use, and I'm glad about that. And so is my family, and so are my friends. And hey, it's a much better world, believe me, without me abusing drugs or alcohol. And that's one thing I won't compromise on anymore. I'm not going to do it. I compromise on other things. Some of those I probably shouldn't compromise on either. But I do like ice cream. Yeah. That's one of my downfalls. But all right. So back to that moment a couple years ago. It broke my world in half, broke my heart, broke my soul. That's when I lost someone that was very dear and close to me, my soulmate. That was my wife and my partner for 30 years plus. And a mom, two great kids. They aren't kids anymore, of course, but lost her to an overdose. That's right, lost her to an overdose. Heroin was her favorite drug of choice. And nowadays, heroin isn't heroin much anymore. It's pretty much fentanyl and whatever else they decide to put in it. And that was the hardest loss I ever gone through. It was tough. Um, obviously somebody that you've known, you've been married to for 30 plus years, is not somebody you forget overnight. The pain doesn't go away, and it shattered me. It shattered my faith. It shattered everything. It was one of those moments that we never think will happen, but it does happen, and it can happen to anyone, and it happens a lot. And of course, when you look at it, you go, "Oh, it's always somebody else." It's somebody else that gets hurt, somebody else that loses a loved one, a son, a daughter, a spouse, somebody else. It's never you. Well, I got news for you. You better wake up and smell the coffee because it can happen to you. Can be somebody that you love, can be somebody that you care a lot about, that you've lived with for a long time. 5 years or 50 years. When you're that close to somebody, when something as tragic and traumatic as a drug overdose happens and they die, yeah, it can happen. Maybe you know somebody it's happened to. But in my story, I didn't drink, even with the pain. I didn't drink, I didn't use, I didn't fall off the wagon. You know, I stayed sober and went through it. And that's nothing short of a miracle. Really. That is a miracle. Uh, I can say that 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago, I would have done something totally different. I would have probably gone out to the bar, said, I'm going to have a few drinks. A few drinks turned into 10. 10 turned into 15, whatever, falling down. Yeah, it would have been a whole different story. And the crazy part is when I drink, see, I'm allergic to alcohol. When I drink, I break out in handcuffs. I do break out in handcuffs typically, but that hasn't happened for a long time, and I'm glad. Glad. So I can only thank God for that. And AA, of course, and my belief in God, my faith. I can only thank God for that as well. I did have I was one of the lucky ones. I had a deep spiritual experience, and that slapped me side the head, gave me a kick in the butt that I needed. And let me just adjust this a little bit. And that spiritual experience set me on my path to sobriety. Now, do you have to have a spiritual experience like I did? No, you don't have to. No, you can do it. You can get sober other ways. I think it's something it's great if you do because it is a real kick in the butt, kick in the ass. Yeah, really is. And it's good. Um, that spiritual experience completely changed my life. It really did. And that's when I finally shut the door on drugs and alcohol for good. So for now, just know it's possible and believe and get your faith in order. Get your life in order. Make your bed. Get up in the morning. Say a little prayer. Thank God that you woke up, number one. Especially if you're using or drinking, Thank God that you woke up in your own bed. Well, maybe not. Maybe you woke up in the jail. But thank God you woke up anyway. Okay. So, as this stream goes along, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pass along a little bit of what I've learned over the years, share some of my experiences, and hopefully listen to some of your experiences as well. There, look at that. Howdy. Howdy, Shauna. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Welcome in. So, what I hope to do is give you a little faith, a little boost, a little spark, a push, a kick, just something to get you going, get you off dead center, and maybe change the way you're living. Okay, just keep going, keep moving forward, not backward, forward, and welcome. Oh, sure, nice to see that name come up. Let me tell you, special. All right. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, keep moving forward because it's too easy to fall backwards, right? Can happen in an instant. Fall backwards, and you're done. It could be the end. Could do you in real big time. Big time. Um, yeah. Believe that you can do it, and we can do it together. That's why I'm here. We can do it together, and one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. Sometimes, a lot of time. One day at a time. Okay. Whatever it takes, getting sober is not something that, um, getting sober is not something that you take lightly. Let's put it that way. It's a process. It does take time. And of course, it's going to change your life forever. Okay. You'll live a lot longer, you'll live a lot happier, and your brain will start to function the way it's supposed to. And take it from me. One of my biggest problems when I was drinking was that I always thought of myself as I was just a kid. I was still a kid. Yeah. And at 40 years old, 50 years old, I was still a kid. So if you want to grow up a little bit, you got to stop. Stop doing what you're doing to destroy your brain and get sober. That's all. Get sober. And we're going to do it right here with you. And I'm going to help you along the way. And you're going to help me stay sober because you can't keep it if you don't give it away. Right? Can't keep it if you don't give it away. So we're going to give it away free, no charge. All right. So why should you care about my story? Why? Well, I mean, it didn't happen to you, right? Well, here's why you should care. Because if only a tiny little fraction of my story clicks with you, if you can identify just a little, and again, it doesn't matter what your addiction is. There's so many commonalities in addiction with other addictions. They're all to destroy you. right? Um, if you get one little piece of information out that will help you, then maybe it'll help you avoid some of the pain that's out there with your name on it that's waiting for you. And it is, it's waiting out there. That pain is pacing up and down the street. It's waiting, it's pacing. It can't wait for you. It'll be so happy when it gets you. No, stop. If you can avoid that pain, avoid it like the plague. Like that, you don't want it. Like COVID. Stay away. Okay. Because it'll take you out. It'll take you out. It'll take you down, and it don't care. It does not care. So if you're ready to leave the old life behind and start building a new one, or just strengthening your sobriety a little bit, a little help from God, or a lot of help from God, then stick around the live stream here. And, this is our journey. If you would, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Like and subscribe, and it'll help me bring out messages to more people and help some folks, hopefully, to get and stay sober. So if you have any questions, be sure and put them up in the chat, and I'll get back to you, of course. And what is it I wanted to talk about? Oh, I wanted to mention where we're going to start. And I thought it would be a good idea to start with, if I can find it here, step 0. Okay. So why does that do that? I don't know. Bear with me here just a moment, if you would, while I try and fix this so I can read my notes. All right. Okay. All right, I think that'll do it. Let's see. There we go. That helps a lot. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'd made some notes on where you start if you want to get sober. If you want to get sober, start with step 0. Now, if you're familiar at all with getting sober, and you're probably familiar with a 12-step program, universal 12-step program. It's used everywhere. And why is it used everywhere? Because it works. It works. Well, the 12-step program forgot one step. And this is something that has been tossed around AA for a long time. And that is step 0. Then step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 12. Okay. But step 0, very important. It originated within AA itself. It's been around a long time, 1935. And you may not even be in recovery yet. You may not even be sure that you need to be in recovery. Yeah, I know. When I went back, well, when I first started and I went to AA for the first time, I thought everybody was talking Chinese, speaking Chinese. I didn't understand what the heck they're talking about. What are they talking? I don't know. I don't care. I heard all these people saying, "Hi, my name is," and I'm an alcoholic. Well, I wasn't an alcoholic, of course. that's why the judge told me to go to AA, because I wasn't an alcoholic. Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't going to get it after that first meeting. I just didn't get it. And the proof, as they say, is in the pudding because of course, I went out and kept partying and, one DUI after another and so forth and so on. Finally, hard, I should do it this way, hard head, finally got it and had to start with step zero. And that is recognizing that you've got a problem. Something's not right. I think I need some help. Maybe I got to do something to change. I'm willing to try anything. Yeah, that's step zero right there. And, you don't have to be ready to call yourself an alcoholic or an addict or anything. Okay. You're not swearing off anything. You're not admitting that you're powerless. You're not worried about your life being unmanageable. You're not any of that. All you're doing is saying, something's not right. I think I might need some help with this thing, maybe. That's enough. That's a start. That's a start. You haven't surrendered yet, but you at least started to listen. That was my biggest problem, starting to listen. So I did, go to the second meeting and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and so on and so on. And each time I went, I listened just a little bit better. And, like I said, I did relapse. There's no question about that. I had many relapses in my early sobriety. Um, however, I finally, it finally came around and kicked me in the head. Um, one of the things that I did one morning was look in the mirror and go, "Who's that? Who is that person?" After partying all night, who is that person? Who is that? Who's that looking back at me? That's not who I want to be. That's not me. That's not me. I know that's not me. I said that in jail one morning too when I woke up and I said, that's not me. What are these bars? This is not me. Well, when you finally say, I can't be going on like this, I can't keep doing it, I can't do it anymore, I am so tired. You know how much work it takes to be an alcoholic or an addict? I mean, work, brain work. Where am I going to get? I got to go. I can't stop. Before I get sick, I got to shop, I got to spend, yeah, find money. I got to find money. Where am I going to find it? I know where I'm going to get it. He's got a credit card. I'll take his credit card. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, step zero is that feeling that, look, I've got to make a change. Something's not right. And it's affecting all the people around me. It's affecting my family. Now, that doesn't come easy. It really doesn't come easy. But once you get to zero, then step one is right around the corner. Okay. And, the 12 steps are next in line, step one. Step one. And I've got those right here. I brought them up. And this is a great little book that I got because it ties your Sobriety, it's very Christian based. And this is just one of the books that I use in my recovery. I also use the Celebrate. Can you see that with that light? I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's the Celebrate Recovery study Bible. Also use, of course, the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous, and the big book of NA, Narcotics Anonymous. So a lot of stuff there, a lot of information. So step 0, you're going to take step 0 before step 1. Step 1, of course, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol or over our problems, over our addictions, whatever word you want to put in there, and that our lives had become unmanageable. Unmanageable. Well, that's step 1. Thank you, Pimp Chimper. Appreciate it. Appreciate it much. Nice to have you along. So anyway, where were we? Oh, I was talking about step 0, covered that. Now we're going to get into step 1 through 12. And just a little backstory. Part of my notes that I put together, just to kind of put it together if you're not familiar with it, goes back to AA in 1935. Dr. Bob Smith and Doctor. He might as well have been a doctor. Bill Wilson, he was a stockbroker, a stock speculator, and Dr. Bob Smith. They together put the Alcoholics Anonymous big book together. And thank God that they did, with the 12 steps. And it was all based on, of course, the movement called the Oxford Group. That's going way back. But the main thing is that the 12 steps work. They've been around a long time, obviously, and they do work. And once we can get through those 12 steps and keep going, keep moving forward, then your life is going to change immensely for the good. For the good. There's no question. No question about it. Now, is it going to be perfect? Probably not. Mine isn't. That's for sure. I mean, just because you get sober and stay sober and change your life doesn't mean that life is going to all of a sudden throw you bags of money and winning lottery tickets and the girl of your dreams or the guy of your dreams, whatever, float your boat. But it's going to change your life. Absolutely change your life. All right. Here are some signs that you might be in step 0. How about this one? Yeah, we were just talking about this. You're starting to feel exhausted by your own behavior. Oh, gosh, that's so true. So true. Exhausting. I mean, of course, when you're in addiction, you don't think about it, but it is totally exhausting. And upside down, and turns everybody else's life upside down too. But of course, we don't think of those things. We don't care. We really don't. Hey, maybe you've made some promises to cut down or quit. Yeah. I'm only going to have 2 drinks tonight. That's what I want. I would go into a bar and say, I'm only going to have 2 drinks tonight. I'm going to really straighten out. Right. 2? No, there's a 0 after the 2. It was 20 drinks later when they mopped me up over, from the sidewalk. Oh, good grief, Charlie Brown. For real. No, 2 would turn into 20 very easily. And and I've seen the drugs work on other people, where it may not be 2 drinks, it may be 2 snorts, turn into how many? Yeah, well, obviously. Bad news, bad news, bad news. So, anyhow, like I said, I'm not going to lecture. Um, I found a Bible quote that I thought was very appropriate. And, if you finally reach the point where you say, God, please, I can't do this anymore, well, you're on your way to sobriety. You really are. All you have to do is take the next small baby steps to get there. All right. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're just waking up. And I found this Bible quote, and I thought, and it's very appropriate. Romans 7:15. Now, I'm not a Bible thumper. I wish, I know people that have, a memory like this, and they can spout off all of these different quotes from the Bible. I'm not like that. I have to write them down. Romans 7:15. Paul says, are you ready for this now? He says, I don't understand what I do. For what I want to do, I don't do. I do what I hate to do. Yeah. That's an addict or an alcoholic right there. Sums it up perfectly. Perfectly. I don't understand what I do. For what I want to do, I don't do. But what I hate to do. Can't say it any better than that. Really. And if that sounds familiar to you, well, you're not alone. That's number one. You're not alone. Even back in ancient times, obviously, where that came from, back in the day before the day before the day, way back, there were people that had, the same issues that we do. Our brains haven't changed all that much, if at all. We still have the same brains that we had back then. We just learn more. Well, that's my opinion. That's how I look at it. People, you want to change, but you feel stuck. You're unable to stop. And going back to step 0, that's when we recognize that there's something wrong. I think I need some help. A little bit. Maybe I don't really need help, but I'd like to I'd like to maybe find out, get a little more information. Once you open your eye to that, or eyes to that, you're on the right path. You're walking the recovery path. You just started it. One step. But what do they say? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. One baby step. Just get there. That's all. Just get there. Okay? Check out AA or NA. Check them out. You don't even have to stay. Just go in, sit in the back, sit wherever, and just listen. And if they're talking Chinese, like they did the first meeting I went to, give it a couple of minutes. And, if you can stick it out, great. If you want to leave, leave. But go back to another meeting. Stay a little bit longer. And that stuff will go in here and hopefully not come out the other side, but hopefully stick a little bit. Right? Okay. And be honest. Be honest. Look yourself in the mirror and be honest. I need some help. Or I don't. I don't want any help. I want to keep going down the road that I'm on now, which is going to lead, well, where do you think it's going to lead? Yeah, usually the cemetery. Okay. So that's where we are. Step 0 is the first step before the 12 steps. And that's why I'm here tonight. How are you doing? You doing okay? How are you feeling? Well, I hope you're feeling better. Just don't have a drink in your hand, okay? Or a drug. You know, one of the things I could never get past was the drug thing. That wasn't, well, the hard drug thing, you know. Alcohol was hard enough for me. But putting things up my nose and taking unidentified purple, yellow, black, green pills was not my thing either. But give me some Jack Daniels and I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me tell you. Oh, yeah. Or vodka or rum or tequila or, you know, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. All right, so that's where we are with that. So once we get through that, then we can move on. All right. So don't forget to leave a like, please, and a subscribe, and that'll help me get this message out to some more folks that may need it. Okay. It would be very helpful to do that. And any comments that you might have, put them in the chat, and I'll definitely get back with you. All right. So where are we now? As you can see, I came well prepared. I have all of my stuff. I think I'll wait on that one. Okay. Hang on. I got some more notes here that I'm going to review with you. Just go over. So we have something to talk about eventually. Oh, there we are. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's see, which one is this now? Okay. Oh, I don't want to do that one there, but I do want to do this. What are the 3 pillars of sobriety? Do you know? 3 pillars of sobriety. Trust God, clean house, and help others. Trust God, clean house, help others. Or you could go, well, might be easier for you to remember it, THC, right? Trust God, help others, clean house. But you really should do it in order, TCH. Trust God, clean house, help others. But you can remember it with THC if that helps it. I know that's kind of a, what would that be? An oxymoron? I don't know. I'm not sure. But especially in this context. Why not? Why not? Oh, so where was I? Where was I? So I'm going to grab this thing here. Now, this has been, I love this because this has been one of the strongest, most important things in my recovery. All right. And again, I'm going to ask you just be patient with me just a second while I adjust this. See, I put my notes in Word, but the problem is I can't seem to figure out why Word does not have that word wrap function. So when I want to make the window smaller, it doesn't work that way. I don't know why it doesn't work, but it just doesn't work. So I have to use this the margins just to keep the box smaller, so it doesn't take up my whole screen, so I can see me and see you and see any comments that come up. So if you are in recovery or you're struggling with addiction, especially, this works for both. If you're struggling with the addiction, you're in it right now and you want to get them out of it. Or if you're in recovery and you want to stay in recovery, and we hope that's what you want to do. I hope that for sure. I say we, I mean anybody that's, got some decent sobriety. Excuse me for a minute, if you would. I have to get my nose. I don't know why. I'm allergic to something in this room. I think I'm allergic to me. My nose starts running. Anyway, so if you're in recovery or you're struggling to get there, one of the biggest things that, in my opinion, one of the most important things is something called gratitude. And, when I first got sober, I didn't even know what the word was. Before I got sober, I mean, when I was on the run, I didn't even know what gratitude was. So, that's something that came along with being a little bit sober and in recovery. I finally got it. It's gratitude. Oh yeah, maybe I should have a little gratitude. I was angry. I felt robbed. I burned so many bridges, I ran out of matches. I burned so many bridges. So many golden opportunities were handed to me. And I burned them. Burned them all. Burned them all. And that may have happened to you too. Or is happening. If you're not there yet, it may be happening. Gratitude. You got to start with a little honesty and being grateful. That's what gratitude is. I had hurt a lot of people that I loved or thought I loved, lost time, health, self-worth down the drain, down the toilet. I was full of guilt and shame and no gratitude at all for anything. The fact that I wake up the next day, no gratitude. But over time, I started to hear people in meetings, they'd talk about gratitude. I think every other meeting. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but certainly, if I went to 5 meetings during the week, I would say 2 of them anyway would be talking about gratitude. That would be the subject that came up, and people would share about gratitude because it's important. And people talked about it as if it was something they chose to do. Gratitude is not, it's not, it's not just a reaction to something. Oh yeah, I'm grateful. Yeah, that's fine. No, you got to make a decision to be grateful, to have gratitude. especially, in early sobriety, one of the best things that you can do is make a gratitude list. What the heck does that mean? Well, that means you get a piece of paper or use the computer, whatever you want to do, make a list. Number one, what am I grateful for? Well, I'll tell you what I'm grateful for, just to give you an idea. Number one, I'm grateful I wake up every morning, right? And I thank God for that every morning. Because I don't have to wake up every morning, especially if I was out. Good Lord. How many of those nights after a gig, I drive home and God got me home. Yeah, no, I didn't run into the bridge. I could have, or off the bridge. I could have, or going down the highway on the wrong side, the northbound instead, going northbound on the southbound side. Yeah, I have gratitude, a lot of it. Yeah, it was stupid. Sure, it was stupid. That was my addiction. That was my addiction. It wasn't me. That's not me. I don't do that now. I don't drive down the wrong side of the road or manage to avoid hitting a bridge or weaving all over the road. I don't do that now. That's not me. That was my addiction to alcohol. So anyway, no, it makes me angry. All right. So anyway, getting back to gratitude, and burning bridges and hurting people. That old Willie Nelson song that he sang with, oh gosh, what did he sing it with? Let me check. I have to go over to my other computer here. Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson. To all the girls I loved before. Yeah, all those ladies. And they were ladies that I loved before. At least I thought I did, but I was too drunk to even realize it at the time. I was full, when I started to get sober, I was full of guilt and shame for the things that I did, not gratitude. But over time, it took time. I started to realize that, yeah, I am grateful. I'm grateful for a lot of things now. I'm grateful that, in a way, the things that I went through that kicked me in the butt finally kicked me in the head, loosened up some of the rocks up there, and set me on the right track. So here's what I learned. When you focus on what you have instead of what you've lost, and I've lost a lot, I'm not alone. I know that. Some of you have lost a lot. But when you focus on what you've got now, what you have, instead of what you lost, and when you thank God for what you have and what He's doing for you, instead of complaining about it, everything starts to change. And that's gratitude. And that will help you in immeasurable ways get and stay sober. Everything changes. Everything changes. Your attitude starts to shift. You you start to feel better about yourself. Um, how you respond, your brain starts to actually function like it's supposed to, um, and how you respond to stress and healthy habits. Once you start to change, and then gratitude kicks in, it's really powerful. It's powerful, especially for us in recovery. Um, but your addiction, you got to keep that under lock and key because it will hijack your gratitude for sure. If you relapse, yeah, it'll hijack your gratitude. You know, we're used to those quick fixes, and it isn't going to happen overnight. You know, well, generally speaking, yeah, it has happened overnight. Yes, miracles happen, and some people overnight can put down the drug or the drink and say, I'm going to be sober the rest of my life, and they are. Now, that's the exception and not the rule. Okay. Um, but that gratitude, it's going to help rewire your brain so it's operating the way it's supposed to. As long as you stay sober and stay away from the drug or the drink, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. Um, and again, life isn't perfect. Sometimes it's going to be uncertain, and I say that from experience. Um, but have some faith. Faith. It's a rock, right? God is a rock, steady. Um, every good thing in my life, my sobriety, my restored relationships with my kids, and that's another story. We can get into that at some point. But I love them to death. Um, that was a miracle to have those relationships brought back. And even every breath I take, just like the song, every breath I take, I've got to be grateful for, especially at my young age. It is a gift. It really is a gift. So, let's see here. I need a little water. Excuse me. It's good. I was drinking this. I'd have my morning coffee. Then I make iced coffee. I was getting coffeeed out on caffeine. I love coffee. I almost made a coffee tonight, but I said, no, I better stick with the water. But I love coffee. Okay. So here's a couple of things you can do. That'll help you stay sober. And sane. Pardon me. Number one, Do like I do. You don't have to, but it works. I thank God every morning. Now, don't let the God thing take you out, because if look, whatever your higher power is, whatever you believe in, make sure you say thank you. Thank you for keeping me sober just for today. Just for today. That phrase comes right out of NA. Just for today. And make sure to, if you need to write it down or make notes. A lot of folks are into journaling. Now, I was never into journaling. Don't know why. It just never appealed to me, but a lot of folks do journal, which is great. That's a good time to make your gratitude list. Make a list of 5 or 10 things, 2 things. Make a list, 1 thing that you're grateful for when you wake up in the morning or when you end the day. I'm grateful for so many things, I'd have to write a book at this point. True. Absolutely true. So you can do that. Sometimes you can put them on a sticky note. Keep it in front of you if you work at the computer. Thank you for 1, 2, 3. Just put 3 things down that you're thankful for. And show your gratitude. That's a big deal, right? How do you show your gratitude? Show your gratitude by giving back. If you have a little time in sobriety, of course, you can always help newcomers. Okay? Because you can't keep it if you don't give it back. So you can always, give back a little bit. If you're not totally into recovery yet, do something to help somebody that you didn't do before. Does that make any sense? Do something for someone that you didn't do before you made a decision that you needed to get sober. Right? So do something for someone that you didn't do before, like do the dishes. Make your bed. Never used to make my bed. Never used to make my bed for years. Didn't bother. Since I got sober, I make my bed every morning when I get up. How about that? That's a change. That's a real zinger. That's a change. Make your bed. Right? Put a little structure in your life. Right? So here's how I look at it. God's love didn't give up on me and will never give up on you. But you're responsible for your own sobriety too. You got to remember that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to point. I'm not lecturing. But you're responsible for your own sobriety, right? Just like I am. It's all on me. Help from God, sure. It's on me. I do have that freedom to choose thing, you know. So, what was this one here? I jotted down. Bible quote from James 1:17. This is international version, by the way. Every good and perfect gift comes from above. Wow. From God, who never changes. Well, that gift is there. It's waiting for you. If you haven't got it yet, it's waiting. It's waiting for you. So try and get there. You know, you will get there eventually, but it's going to take a little work, a little time, but you'll get there. I remember one night in early sobriety. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, I was sitting in a halfway house for the first and last time. Now, at the time, this is before my wife was in the depths of her addiction. And I was still going strong with the alcohol. Anyway, she kicked me out of the house. Said, I've had it. I can't take it. The kids, blah, 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 whatever. Now, do I blame her? No, of course I don't blame her. It was on me. It was all me. Okay, she kicked me out of the house. But she loved me. And she helped me get into this halfway house, which I'm guessing everybody's familiar with what a halfway house is. Yeah, you're half in and you're half out. Half in your mind and half out of your mind. So they put you in a halfway house. Well, basically. I was mad at the time. I was angry, of course. Get kicked out of the house, shut out, locked out. But later down the road in my sobriety, I came to thank her for that experience because that really helped me on my way to sobriety. I needed a kick in the pants, you know? Yeah, kick in the ass, kick in the balls. I needed a kick. And she gave me that kick. Good. That was a good kick. Yeah. So I had no job. I had no home. I had a couple of dollars in my wallet. And I say a couple of dollars, I mean 2 ones. Okay. Enough. For what? For nothing. You know. I tried to make amends with my family. You know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. That didn't go so well. You know, sorry gets really burned out after a while. Some people can only take it so long. You know, oh gosh, how many times do I have to hear that? But you'll do it again. Yeah, well, that was true. That was true. So true. I really felt well, you know, at that time when I got booted out of the house, I felt lower than dirt. I'd never been booted out of the house before. That's not me. Good grief, that's not me. I'm not that type. I'm not that kind of a person. Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah. I felt lower than dirt. Pretty bummed out, you know. However, instead of running away and calling up one of my friends and going to a bar and getting totally blasted. I didn't do that. I actually picked up a pen and I wrote down the things that I was grateful for. No particular reason. It just seemed like a good way to get my mind off of my addiction. So I did stay sober for that day. I did. And the next day, I did go to a meeting. And so this was one of my relapses that I had. And I had tried to get sponsors in the past, which is another subject that if you're not familiar with it, we can go into it at another time. But sponsor is somebody that takes your hand and walks you through the 12 steps. And it's kind of like your buddy in a lot of ways. But I didn't have a sponsor, and I said to myself, I got to get a sponsor. That's one thing I didn't have. I got to get somebody to help me get through these 12 steps and put all this behind me. And so I went to that meeting, and there was a gentleman up there speaking. And he looked... Well, he looked like Ozzy Osbourne's twin brother. And I said, that's a guy going to be my sponsor. So I asked him after the meeting. I said, listen, I'm looking for a sponsor. I wonder if you can help me out. Oh, I don't know. He said, I don't know. He'd just gone through a bad experience with somebody he was trying to help out, and they did not do so well. So he felt kind of bummed out about that. So he wasn't sure whether he wanted to take on anybody else. And I said, oh, come on. Everything will be fine. I'll tell you what. I'll be your part-time temporary sponsor. So, yeah, he was my temporary sponsor for let's see, 10 years till he passed away. He was always my temporary sponsor. Yeah, he knew he was my full-time sponsor, and I knew it too, but we always played around and said, yeah, he's my temporary sponsor. He's great guy, really great guy. But anyway, once I got the sponsor in line, and my life's changed, started to change little by little, piece by piece. It's a process. That's just one little piece of the process, a sponsor and the 12 steps and gratitude, all of this, put it all together, and it'll change your life. It'll change your life. Your brain will change. It does. Actually, physically. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I don't pretend to be anybody like that. But from what I've read, in my opinion, your brain actually changes. The chemistry in your brain changes. And mine has changed a lot. A lot. And it's all because I got sober. Okay? And you can do it too. You can do it. If you're having a hard time, let me know. We're all here together. Let us know. Hey, I need some help here. I need this. I need that. If you need something, the least I can do is, maybe point you in the right direction. No guarantees, but at least try to help out a little bit. So anyway, where was I? I got sidetracked, way sidetracked. So we're talking about gratitude, right? So gratitude is not. I'm just checking my notes here. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, when you get to my age, you thank God every morning, which I do. Thank you for another day. Yeah. Thanks for waking me up. Yeah. You didn't have to. You didn't have to, but He did. Waking up for another day. And I thank God for that every day. Believe me. You know, it's something to think about. Something I never would have thought about when I was using and abusing gratitude. I'm a grandfather now. You'd never know it by looking at me. I know that, but I'm a grandfather. Yeah. Uh, I'm a grandpa and 5 grandkids and how many great grandkids now? Oh, I think my daughter said we got 5 great grandkids now. And, it's crazy. But yet if I'd kept going down the road I was going down, I probably wouldn't even be here. Without a doubt. It was, yeah, it was bad. It was quite bad. It always gets bad. In your addiction, when you're thinking, oh, this is great. I love this. I'm at a wild party tonight. Tomorrow, going to party again. Hey, baby. Yeah. Yeah. But eventually you got to pay for the music and the dancing and the drinking. And you pay for it. Yeah, you'll pay for it. Yeah. Remember that pain. It's out there and it's just pacing up and down the street. Can't wait to meet you. That pain is there. And it's going to arrive sooner or later if you don't get it. So you got to get it. Okay. So gratitude itself, it's actually already it's baked in to the 12-step program. What the heck does that mean? Well, let's take a look. In case you're not familiar with the 12 steps. We went over step 0 a little earlier in the stream. Step 0 is you waking up and finally saying, I think I need some help, maybe. Right? That's step 0. Once you open your eyes just a little bit from those slips and the headache or that nauseous feeling in your stomach, once you open your eyes up a little bit, say, I don't think I want to do this anymore. It's just costing me too much. It's too much work. And those handcuffs get so tight on your wrists. Oh, gosh. And the blue lights. They're pretty, but not when they're behind you. No. So when you finally decide to give that up, take step 0, right? Step 1 officially is next, and that is, excuse me a minute, my nose is running again, and that is surrender, right? We admitted we were powerless. I'll read that for you again. This is out of this is a more general version. This is from the Life Recovery Workbook. Excellent source. So we admitted we were powerless over our problems. So that means that It doesn't have to be alcohol addiction. It can be any addiction at all. Alcohol, drugs, food, sex, porn, wildlife. I don't know. Whatever it whatever it is. Cigarettes. Oof, bad. Um, so we admitted we were powerless over our problems and that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay, step one. Well, what's that got to do with gratitude? Well, it's surrender. You're saying, I admit it. I admit it. I'm powerless over my addiction. Finally admitting it. And that creates space for gratitude to grow. Now, what do we create space? What is it? Yeah, because look, when we're in our addiction, think of it this way. If you've ever seen the shows on hoarding, hoarders, I think there's one called Hoarders. It's on, I don't know, Lifetime or TLC, one of the channels, where some people have an addiction. I, in my opinion, I think it's an addiction, where they would save things and keep things and collect things, and they're everywhere in their house. They're everywhere. And the garbage, gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, well, that's garbage. Yeah, in my opinion, again, I would consider it garbage. Now, they obviously don't, but it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and it fills up the house. Well, if you think of that as like your brain gets full of garbage as well. We call it what it is. It's garbage. All of the negatives that you are, all the negative things, the negative aspects of your personality, all of that, and your resentments, all of those things, there's garbage in your head. Okay. So by surrendering to your addiction, strike that from the record. Surrendering and admitting that you're powerless over your addiction, that helps clear out some of that garbage that's in there. And that opens the door and lets in gratitude. Okay. Now, there's other steps involved in the 12-step program as well. Step 2, came to believe power greater than ourselves. Oh, what's going on over here now? I have to fix this. Bear with me just a moment, or this is going to turn into a never-ending loop. Why did that come back on? Bear with me. So sorry, having a technical issue. So admitting you're powerless, step 1, over your addiction, surrender. Then you can begin to let in gratitude, which most of us never had before. All right. Let's see. Step 3 is another gratitude. Turning our will and our lives over to the care of God. Okay, so that is a step of trust. Remember, trust God, clean house, help others. That's trust. And when you trust, you can be thankful. I trust God. Thank you for keeping me sober another day. Pardon me. Step 4 and 5 in the 12-step program: inventory, confess our wrongs, help clear away the wreckage of the past. That's that garbage. You got to get the garbage out. Gratitude comes in. 8 and 9, making amends to people that you hurt or that have hurt you. Healing relationships. That brings gratitude. 11 is sought through prayer and meditation, improve our conscious contact with God. Again, another gratitude step. And step 12, the final step, of course, having had a spiritual awakening. As a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to others and to practice these principles in all our lives. In all our affairs. Basically, what's it saying? Give back. Help others. You can't keep it if you don't give it away. Right? Helping others is, how do I put it? There's so much gratitude that I have, speaking for me, so much gratitude I have for being able to help, even if it's just a little bit, somebody else through a live stream. You know? Even if I help just a little, even if you get this much information from all of my babbling, and it helps you take that first step, step 0, right? Saying, something's got to change. I can't do this anymore. It's just burning me out. It's too much. If you get a little bit of help, a little bit of something out of my babbling that will help you get through that step 0 on to step 1, that's what I'm grateful for. Because a lot of people sometimes their addiction is so strong that they can't seem to find a way out. But there is a way out. There's always a way out. Always. Yeah, always. There's a way out. And I think being honesty, I think, is the first and most important thing to recognize, or one of the most important things to recognize, is being honest and saying, look, yeah, I do have that problem. I know I have a problem. I think I might have a problem. Maybe just a little. Yeah, a little problem. Like I missed work yesterday. I couldn't get up. I had to call in sick. It was terrible. Or I couldn't think at work. My brain was just mush. Mine's mush most of the time, but that's another story. Yeah. If you get it, you'll get it. If you don't, then you better go back and do it again to get it. Right? But I'm not going to lecture. Okay. So we were talking about gratitude a little bit. And bear with me here just a second, if you would. Bear with me. Yeah, you can watch me blow my nose on the live stream. I'm sure that's attractive. Oh boy. Uh, all right, where was I? Oh my goodness. Okay. Gratitude. Gratitude. So, yeah. So when you wake up in the morning, make sure and say a little prayer, and be grateful. It doesn't have to be fancy. Look, everybody has different ways of doing things. Now, this is just my opinion. That's all. You want to get on your knees and pray and say thank you, God, for everything. That's great, wonderful. If you don't have to, right? I don't get on my knees. If I got on my knees, I probably wouldn't get back up. But I do say thank you every morning. My gratitude prayer, believe me, every morning. And that's before I make my bed. But yeah, do your gratitude prayer, make your bed, and do the right thing. Do the next right thing. Right? Right. Put a little integrity in your life. You know what integrity is, right? Everybody knows what integrity is. Well, some people don't. What is it? Integrity, doing the next right thing even when nobody's watching. Hmm. Good point. Good point. So let's see. We got 10 minutes, 10 till 9. Ready? Eastern time. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. So we've just been talking a little bit about gratitude and step 0 and the steps and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Very important things to keep in mind. Where's my okay, where's my other one? Okay, I'll have to find that. I had another bunch of notes here I was going to look into, but that's okay. That's okay. So, one of the things you might want to do if you're new in recovery, or if you're thinking about getting sober, right? This isn't it isn't rocket science. If you're thinking about getting sober, one of the things you want to do is pick up either an Alcoholics Anonymous big book or an NA big book, blue book. This is the hardcover Alcoholics. It's a yellow and blue. It says Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know if you can see that with the light. Very good book. Another one is NA from Narcotics Anonymous. And you go to a meeting, any one of these meetings, and 9 times out of 10, they'll give you one of the books, or you can purchase it at a very inexpensive cost to you. Well, whatever it costs, it's worth it. Put it that way. That's 2 of the books. And the third one, of course, now this is the one that I have, is the Celebrate Recovery book. That's really bright, isn't it? Really, what if I dim this down a little bit? Oh, it's still bright, but there. Okay, it's backwards, but it's Celebrate Recovery. And this is the study Bible. It's available. I got this off Amazon, and it's really good. And it's the New International Version, so it's pretty much common language. Doesn't get too confusing. And then I have this little workbook here that's the Life Recovery Workbook. Another Bible is the Life Recovery Bible, which is very good too. You check that out. So there's some good resources. But the main thing is get a hold of one of these that's got, whether it's the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous, NA, Celebrate Recovery, a little bit different Celebrate Recovery, which we can maybe go into the next time. Instead of 12 steps, they have 8 principles, but the 8 principles are based on the 12 steps. They just shorten it up a little bit. It's really, the bottom line is it's a map to get where you want to go, which is from addiction to sobriety. And it's a great roadmap. It doesn't matter which one you take. All right. Whichever road you decide to take, it all goes to the same place, and we all want to get there and stay there. So make sure you pick up one of those books and do a little reading. If you don't already have one, you may already have a big book. That's what AAers call the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So you may already have that. That's fine. It's great. Gee, I guess I don't really need that light. I'll just put that light over there for now. I don't need all that light. But yeah. So let's see. It's 8:56. So about 4 more minutes, and we'll wrap things up. So if you'd like to jump into the chat, have any last minute comments or questions, be happy to help you out if I can. And be sure to check the like and the subscribe button so the next time we're on, which should be tomorrow evening at right around 7. And let's see. Yeah, right around 7 o'clock. Good grief, time does fly when you're having fun, doesn't it? And we'll do it all over again. And we'll tackle some other different things tomorrow night. Maybe. We'll see what happens. And we may review everything again tomorrow night, at least do a quick review and then start with something new. On Tuesday. Oh, wait a minute. Tuesday. I have Celebrate Recovery Tuesday, so it won't start at 7. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's no meeting tomorrow. Now I'm confused. No, wait a minute. There is a meeting, but there was no kids. That's what it is. Okay. That's all right. I'll figure it all out. But no, we won't be seeing you tomorrow. Okay, because I go to Celebrate Recovery on Tuesday evenings until around 9 o'clock. Then I come home and have some dinner and whatnot. So yeah, tomorrow night we'll be off. But I'll be back on Wednesday. And then next week, I think we'll start 7 a.m. on one day. I don't know which day it'll be. Maybe it'll be Tuesday. That would make sense, wouldn't it? 7 a.m. on Tuesdays. Yeah, we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. But for now, we're coming up on to closing time. So I do want to thank you for being here. Let's see, where's my close? I had written out a close. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's it. Yeah. That's a wrap for now. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. God bless our veterans. And remember, somebody out there loves you. That's a fact. See you next time.